Hey all, Matt here with Bobcat Bonsai. I'm out in my greenhouse today. It's cold. And I decided, hey, I feel like making a forest today. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a nice little forest. So let's check out these Yamatori trees I just dug up. So I was out digging up these little trees. This is a little wild rose. It's got some nice movement down low and everything. I dug that up. They are going to end up getting put in with the little clay balls that are around the bases of them. And then these are all some little eastern red cedars that have just been growing out through the field. I went out and I found them. They're real easy to find this time of year because these purple tips really stand out against the brown soil that's out there. I can't even imagine how long that one's been out there. Probably a little while. But that one's pretty cool. You can see it's been mowed down a few times. The top's pretty short. And then we've got this little guy right here with some great movement. Just super cool. So I'm going to get them potted up and let's see how it goes. Oh wait, also. So the pot that I was getting ready to use, let's see if I can get it to focus in. There we go. It has a little baby tree in here. So the forest is going to be planted with this little baby tree that already exists in this pot that I'm going to end up repurposing. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see here, I put the little seedling all the way in the back because normally when you're doing a forest type planting, you want there to be a little bit of depth perception being shown throughout it. I think the main focal point, the closest to the front, is going to end up being this bigger tree right here, and we're probably going to end up getting it somewhere down in here a little bit. So we are going to have to break some of the clay off the bottom. The mixture I'll be using today is going to be a mixture of bonsai soil and Fox Farm Happy Frog will be the other bit that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to get this down into here like so. Then I know that that's where I want this one to be, so let's try our best to get it held in place a little bit. Which is going to be very tricky. Very, very tricky. As we get this more filled in, it's going to end up working out a lot better. I know I'm not planning on putting much more behind it, so we'll just get a heavy dose in there right behind it, just to lock it in place so that it's stuck in this forward motion right here. I will tell you, we're most definitely going to end up with grass in here. That's for sure. I really like this little rose, which we are going to end up trimming back since it's a winter rose. I'm not super worried about that. I'm going to take that little guy and place it off and over to the side over here. And I think that's going to add just a neat little something different. I don't know. That's my thought. It'll add something a little bit different to it. Let me know your thoughts with it. I'm sure you're probably wondering, why are you doing a winter rose with eastern red cedars? And I don't have an answer for you, but I like it, so that's what I decided to do with it. So I'm just going to come in here and just fill this in a little bit. Alright, so we'll just take that and get everything filled in all around the edges here. Okay, so our next thicker tree we have is this little one right here, which has excellent movement. And it could use a little trim up on the inside, but I'm not worried about that for now. For now, I'm going to leave it alone to just grow as it is. I'm probably going to trim these roots off, at least this one right here, because it actually has some really good roots that are back up inside this clay ball, which is why I'm not messing with the clay ball too much. So for this one, we just want to get it down and in here, and just really work those roots down in there. So yes, this is coming over and touching over here for now, but that's something we can address later. I have no problem trimming this up. I know that the rose will grow back no matter how much I trim it, so that I don't mind trimming at all. Let me come back over here and fill this in a little bit more, because there's nothing that's going in that spot. So then we can bring that to there. So now we're going to take some younger little trees and put them in. So we probably should have put these in the back and these bigger ones in the front. And that was definitely a pretty good mistake on my part. But all we can do is move on from there and say, here we go, little buddy. This is where you're gonna go. And then we have this little guy right here, which has this real cool little kick in it. So this little guy I'm just gonna end up taking. I'm gonna end up trimming off the bottom part of this long root as well, because it's got a bunch of feeders above it, but everything else below, not much going on there. So this little one we're going to bring in to right about here. So it may not be the prettiest looking little forest for the time being, but I think it ended up pretty good. Let me finish getting this filled in and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so here's what we've got so far. Like I said, I was going to trim back the little rows here. So I'm going to actually come back and just take that to here. Leave it a little room to die back. And this is going to become the new leader. If you look real closely. Let me see here. I just need to get it to focus in. There's lots of little red buds going up through there. We'll have to give it a good wash though. It has a little bit of mold or bird poop on there, one or the other. So I'm gonna have to give it a nice little wash up. But if you look, those buds run all the way up to the top real nicely. So that's why I trimmed it back to there, to leave that as the new leader. I'm gonna leave this little bud alone to grow as well. We do need to address some issues inside here and more or less just try to clean some of these out a little bit. It's just too thick on the inside, which is going to cause a bunch of issues. So we're just going to come in here and just trim a little bit at a time, just to try and see what exactly we have going on in here. Alright. There's a lot going on. There's actually a whole dead branch on this back side, so I'm going to end up taking that off. And that's all I'm going to do with that one. This little guy's not looking too bad, honestly. It's got some interesting little branching running up through here. So I'm going to take one off up there towards the top. One there growing towards the other ones, and leave that one the rest of the way alone. Let's see. I think this is probably the best angle to work on this one at, so let me get you zoomed in just a little bit. Beautiful. Now I've got the whites in there. So we've got that nice branch here, this little guy. This one's coming in pretty hefty, so we're going to trim that one. That leaves this one, then this one, this one. So I'd say I'm pretty happy with that otherwise. We'll let the rest of that one grow for the time being. See what happens. Now this big one back here. That one's a whole mess of stuff going on in here. Let me see if I can get you a good angle into it. Okay. Yes, so this whole mess in here. Oh, there's a lot going on. So I'm just gonna come in, just try and just get a nice little nip in here, but I'd missed the one I was going for. But I got it that time. So we got that all taken care of for that part. All right, let me zoom you out. Beep, too far out. Okay, I would say this is the hard part for me with forest, is I really struggle with getting a good view going here. At some point we need to decide on the main leader, which is most likely going to be right here, and we're going to end up cutting this whole section off. But because of this repot that we just did, I don't think I really want to cut that whole thing off for now. I'm going to cut off a good portion of the smaller branches and just things that are going to be blocking out light from the other section that I'm going to be growing, because we want this section over here to have as much growth space as possible. That way it can be successful in its growth. And then we'll end up cutting this whole thing right here, and then this will be the new leader running up and through. Just something a little cool to look at. Alright, there we have it. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, you should give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, you should subscribe to my channel. And if you really enjoy my content, you should hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.